Mike Harris back with What in the Law podcast and shooting again from Cairo's Coffee House on Garden of the Gods near I 25 in Colorado Springs. They have some great coffee and some other great food items here. Check them out. I get asked sometimes about my military background and some of the differences of military cases and regular cases, and when someone like me as a private attorney might come in handy. Well, basically, if you are facing either a criminal case, which is basically a court martial, or you are facing being involuntarily separated, either administratively separated for a enlisted person or facing a officer's board of inquiry, you are basically going to be facing a different kind of jury. Basically, you're facing a panel of officers or senior enlisted, which, as they call them, members, but they are basically a different kind of jury, and might look at things a little different than you might get on the average case on the street. There are also some big differences in what they might look at and how they might look at things, because some of the rules are different. One of the big differences is how much your background matters, and beyond just what did this case involve. And frankly, the military spends a lot more time and more emphasis than sometimes you see in civilian cases on looking into your background, good or bad. Sometimes that can be a big benefit, however, but if you have maybe had some trouble, it of course can be more of a detriment, depending on what you are currently facing. There can also be, in the criminal cases or the court martial context, a big variance in what type of sentencing you're looking at. They don't have the same type of guidelines and specific types of probation that you would see in a civilian context. So there can be a bigger difference in what kind of time you're looking at. And when you are looking at something very serious is usually where people are looking at getting the civilian attorney. Certainly there are very good JAG attorneys who will be court appointed or basically appointed by the military to represent you. And some of them are wonderful. But the range of experience can differ, and some people may not have as much experience on things. Frankly, one thing you have to consider is how much of a nerve do they have to cross-examine some of the maybe more senior officers who might be involved in your case and may or may not be too inclined to go as aggressively at them as maybe needs to be done in a particular case. And will they have the, frankly, time and ability to do what needs to be done for your situation? These can be life-altering events if you are facing any type of accusation of criminal misconduct and you're active duty and facing either a court-martial, they call Article 32, or investigation to see if there will be a court-martial, or if you are looking at being separated with something negative on your record for a reason of discharge. So those are some things to consider, and if you are facing such a situation, talk to a couple attorneys and see what you're looking at and what might be involved in your situation. So see you next time on What in the Law podcast.